You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your very grateful host. And in studio with me, my main man, Jamie Angel.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday.
What's happening, bud? You had a good weekend?
Had a great weekend. As you know, we took a special young man, special young child, and brought him into the church and baptized him.
Added him to the rolls.
Boy, that was an adventure.
That's a big 2-year-old.
That's a big 2-year-old with more energy than golly.
Like a tank.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Oh, he means well.
But finally, after 2.5 years, we got him baptized.
I thought we could do like a whole bunch of things at once. Baptism, first communion, ring bearer.
I mean, we did that. I mean, we had a graduation, a wedding, a baptism. I mean, I'm so glad May is over.
Hey, it's all good though. You know, we're good.
Now it's Pride Month.
Oh, whoa, I didn't realize that. Yeah, happy June, everyone. Yeah, welcome. And we are broadcasting live from the Bill and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. You got legal needs? Call your hometown lawyers. Call those guys over there, Bill and Bear. I know them. Good folks. Let's see here. Hot topics?
Hot topic.
I feel like all our topics today are hot, but let's dive into a few little quick ones. The Treasury Secretary was on CBS's Face the Nation and reminded the anchor there, Miss Brennan, of her previous predictions about inflation. Yeah, her and everyone else.
Because she's an economist.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, back in March, it was only 3 months ago, Brennan had and others warned that President Trump's tariffs would lead to significant inflation. Well, Besant highlighted that the latest consumer price index, the Treasurer, said the CPI shows a 2.3% year-over-year increase in April. That was 1 month after her comments, marking the lowest rise in over 4 years. We covered that. Now, he emphasized that fears about tariffs causing inflation were unfounded. Well, because that's the Democrat rhino media way. Mainstream media way. Fear. I mean, I remember when he first announced the tariffs, we talked about it. Those folks on CNN, I mean, they were like, you're going to feel it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be standing in line for bread like they did in the USSR, and we were going to be getting alms for the poor. It was over. Bad. It was end times.
I know. What they were painting? Jeez. Well, the Treasurer also noted that prices for essentials like energy and food have also decreased, and that Chinese exporters are absorbing a significant portion of the tariff costs, which would mitigate potential inflationary effects in the U.S. I feel like the folks on the left, the bad actors, you can't operate in good faith on here and say what the Democrat Party and the media is saying. You just can't do that. So I'm talking about all the bad faith folks. I am just saying, these tariffs don't just affect Americans. Yes, it's going to change up things. Every action has a reaction. And we sure as heck couldn't continue to do what we were doing, just sending jobs overseas, making it more painful to do business in America, to build things in America than it is in China and Indonesia. I can keep going on and on and on. But these tariffs don't just hurt. They don't just impact the American consumer. I mean, like some of the people online, you should go to my Facebook page. You'll see a whole bunch of economists. I mean, they're
like Barrett's lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, anyway, let's move on though. So, go ahead.
Yes, please.
I saw
a poll earlier today, this morning, in fact, that showed back in the day, they used to think of the Democrat Party as the party of the middle class.
Okay.
Well, new polling has shown that they are now tied with the Republican Party as the party of the middle class. So think about that when you think about what Margaret Brennan has to say.
Margaret Brennan. I mean, come on, Margaret Brennan. Jeez.
I didn't even know who that is, honestly.
I've seen her.
I mean, I know who she is, but like, who is she? Like, she ain't no Dan Rather. She ain't no Katie Couric. Margaret Brennan.
Dan Rather took a little hit in the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
He used to say some often, "Oh, it's hotter than a bikini on a 5-year-old at the public pool."
Gosh.
He said something like that one day.
So him and President Biden got along.
Oh boy, did they!
I could feel the hairs on my.
They used to like to wave their hands up and down the hairs on my legs.
And
there were roaches everywhere.
And
so Uncle cringy. Peanut got shot down.
Oh gosh, it's so cringy.
Kind of miss the old guy. Just for his quirk.
Hey, he gave a quote over the weekend. Said, well, I mean, I don't know if it was a quote. It was paraphrasing of something he mumbled or talked. Said he looked great. Of course, all the same things.
Chat GPT representation.
Looks great. He looks great. He's a great health. All the bull. You know what we've been talking about, or they've been talking about.
I mean, did he start cancer treatment?
Oh, and I was wondering the same thing. And he said he has no regrets over the 2024 election.
No regrets.
No, right.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well. Maybe he'll run again.
Maybe they told him he won.
Maybe.
I mean, like, seriously, maybe they told him he won. Think about it. They made a fake Oval Office for him to do those press. Jamie, did they not make a fake Oval Office? Okay, they made a fake Oval Office for him. You telling me that we couldn't put on
ceremonial signing?
Oh my God! I bet you
that's a signing studio.
I bet you that's where they kept him in Delaware, like some studio, like here's
his basement.
Hey, Mr. President, this is the Oval Office. Welcome to it.
What if they redesign his?
That's
basement?
what I'm saying. Like hey, is it impossible?
We could buy that guy's house in Texas who recreated his own Oval Office, and now he can't sell it because he spent so much damn money. Oh man.
Oh, I know a guy.
I do too.
Yeah,
we know the same guy.
We know the same guy. Yeah. And he got the plans. He actually got the actual plans of the White House. That was before 9/11 and before, and I'm sure it was. Sure it wasn't the plans.
Right, but it was like from the historical records. But his actually fits in a home. Like, it's not like a big oval addition.
So like his. Oh, that's what he did. Yeah. Oh wow, that's impressive.
He built an entire Oval Office like a West
I'm gonna be the president.
He's gonna be something. Broke is what he is.
Lots of sleepovers. Hope you have a lot of grandkids.
Put a big TV in there. We'll watch the Super Bowl.
Well, let's go to eggs.
I love eggs.
Yeah, I love eggs
From my
too.
head down to my legs.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it makes you feel good. Say it again.
That's the theme song, The Incredible Edible Egg.
Oh.
I love eggs. From my head down to my legs.
Oh, okay. That's good. They should advertise on our show. All right, so in economic news, well, guys, the price of eggs have dropped over 61% since President Trump has become the president again. Remember that? That was like a week's worth of Democrat talking points, like, oh, the price of eggs haven't dropped.
You mean... All right. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that one.
So, for all the egg price measurers out there, 61% it has dropped. I told you I'd drop them. So, according to the USDA, a dozen large white shell eggs now cost $2.52 on average, down from $6.49
Why they
in
gotta
January.
Be white? Racist.
Yeah, for real. Racist eggs. Bunch of racists.
I mean, they got to whitewash everything. Eggs, bread.
That ain't right.
I tell you what.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to finish this one in. Gator program. So, meanwhile, in the state, we'll keep things local here. Governor Jeff Landry's LA Gator program, if you recall, those are the voucher programs. It's aimed at providing vouchers for private school or charter school, things like that. Well, it received $43.5 million from the state Senate committee, which fell short of the $93.5 million initially requested. I'm not sure why. Do you know any reason?
Well, yeah, because they said they agreed with the governor before the session even started on $45 million.
Okay.
When the governor submitted his budget, that number had doubled.
Oh, so they just kept it to
Cam Henry
to the
made it clear
yeah.
that he was not going to budge, that he was not going to add another cent. Now, this is going to be detrimental to the program because they won't really be able to add any more students.
Do you recall what the amount was last year? It was a new program.
It was like 20 million.
But was that? I'm curious if that was the
remember.
Entire fiscal year or if that was half. No, it would be the fiscal year because they did their budget. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it doubled. If Cameron Hendry said 45 and they did 20 something.
I don't remember for sure. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I don't know. But hey, look, I'm rooting for the program. I want to put my kids in it, but I don't think they're going to be able to fund it.
And this is the money follows the child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I know my school board member friends in school system. I get it.
When you don't cut spending. Arguments.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, if the money follow, I know we got break. If the money follow the child, though, I mean, that's the most accountability you can. And then, yeah, you're right. Cut spending if you need to.
Hey, before we go to break,
what up?
A little breaking news.
Breaking news.
You're gonna want to know this.
Get
your full hat ready. Louisiana's passed a bill banning chemtrails.
Whoa! Hey, to our wonderful audience, especially abroad and outside the state, that's a thing locally. That is breaking news. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show.
You asked me which one was the boy.
I did. Yes, you're right. You are. Yeah. It's can't notice that part though.
They want a candy coat. I'm just gonna.
You just straight up. It's anatomy.
It's anatomy. Science.
Yeah.
Biology.
Well, welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Your hometown lawyers. Go check them out. Let's let's go to our friends up in Oregon. What the hell's wrong with them people sometimes? Probably good folks. Just,
Oh, great. I married me an Oregon girl.
What do they call them?
Oregonians.
Oregonians. All right.
But some of them are BS crazy.
Well, we all
know what I'm saying.
We all have. Jackson Thompson over at Fox News is reporting that 2 high school girls in Oregon refused to stand on a medal podium next to a transgender athlete, a boy, at the state championship, and the country has noticed.
This is the second time this weekend, too.
Yes. What was the other one?
California.
Yeah.
But that one won.
Yeah. This one got beat by 4 girls.
But the girls were up there hugging on them and stuff. Like, oh, congratulations.
Wow.
California, man.
California. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's go over the facts. The girls, Reese Eckerd and Alexis Anderson, they competed in the high jump at Oregon's 2025 state championships. Now, the high jump, you would think the male would have a large advantage.
Like Hollis Conway.
Yeah, Holly Ollie. 2-time Olympian medalist, former Parks and Recreation Department head here locally, did a great job. So a biological male over here, by the way, who previously competed in boys' events. I'm just going to pause there. So we're talking about a young man that has previously competed in boys' events.
Probably couldn't win.
Well, he couldn't because he couldn't beat the girls either. He tied for 5th place as a transgender female athlete. So you lost in the boys, couldn't beat the boys. Okay, it's competition. So instead of training and all that stuff, no way. I'm going to get that medal. I'm going to get that tied for 5th place medal.
Next thing you know, he's going to identify as a senior. And he's going to go into the senior Olympics, try to win with the old people. Identify as an 80-year-old.
Get his butt whooped. But the high jump, man, you think of some of these events, like sprinting, of course, advantage. But some of these field events, this is getting out of control.
If I was a girl that was in one of these schools, like my attitude would be, why even bother? I know I can't win. I mean, this person's obviously physically stronger and superior because they're a male.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't waste the money.
Yeah. Plus, I would imagine a lot of young ladies feel that way, which is such a slap in the face to all the, what are they called, Oregonian?
Yeah.
All the Oregonian feminists out there. And these poor feminists in California, I feel so bad for them. They work so hard to get equal rights. They work so hard for girls to have funding and programs that they could call their own and compete, and only to let men come in there and ruin it again.
Well, not just that. What about the scholarship opportunities? I mean, for a lot of these kids, this is an opportunity for them to earn scholarships, to be able to go to college, a chance they may not have had. And it's hard enough in competing against your peers, but then to have to compete against a male for a scholar, like, come on.
I'm telling you, it's the movie Ladybug.
The movie? I've never seen it.
Got to see it. It's from the 90s. Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield?
Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, Ladybugs. Yeah.
Gotta love it. And that was back when it was so unheard of. Now, you couldn't even do that movie because, one, it wouldn't be funny because it's such a reality.
It's so offensive.
Yeah, well, that too. You have to deal with that. But, So, now, I will say this about these 2 young ladies, all right, Eckerd and Anderson. They came out 2nd and 3rd place. So, some traditional medalists. You get it? Traditional. Yeah. So when it came time for the actual award ceremony, Eckerd and Anderson turned away and refused to share the podium with the trans athlete. Say it what it is, though. They were competing in girls' sports. So they didn't know. It's like when a rhino goes to the RPEC. You know what I mean? Like when someone's a Democrat, but they pretend to be a Republican. We have some of those here locally. When they go to the Republican Parish Executive Committee, these girls thought they were competing in girl sports. When you go to the RPEC, you think you're amongst Republicans, and you never know. One or two gets in there, namely one.
It's funny because, hey, Dems, listen up. Y'all been struggling for the, your policies and all this stuff. And y'all were almost there last time because y'all latched on to women's rights in the complete wrong realm of it. Like, y'all thought abortion was they're literally fighting. Health. They're fighting to diminish the identity of women. They're taking your identity away. That's the thing you should have run on. That's the winning policy. That's the winning issue.
Protect women's sports.
Feminists.
Exactly.
Liberals.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know if
Pocahontas.
They know. What?
Where you at?
Where is she at?
Where's your pink hat? Where's your vagina cap?
Do you think he would wear one? He's a girl, he says. He says he's a girl.
Closest he'll get.
Oh, shit.
God dang it. I forget we were talking about kids. I need to stop.
Here's the deal. So footage shows an official approaching them and signaling for them to move. Like they were then seen stepping off the podium and standing off to the side when they turned their back. So like, you're going to need to move. Oh, you're going to let the boy compete with girls. This is what you're taking the stand on. Now, the school and the administrators, they later issued a statement saying, we didn't refuse to stand on, I'm sorry, wrong voice. This was the two young ladies. Wrong voice, very eloquent voice. We didn't refuse to stand on the, see how this goes? We didn't refuse to stand on the podium out of hate. We did it because someone has to say this isn't right. Very well said, young ladies, very well.
Yeah, it's the principle.
We need more of that. All right, so take a little break.
We'll take a break.
Take a little break. When we come back, we'll talk about this and so much more. Phone lines are open. I want you to go to rumble.com and go watch us for live and for free. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and 844-766-6607.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and A. Bear Studios right here in the panhandling capital of the world, Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm just saying. All right. Might make a festival out of it.
We got an app chat.
Yo.
Oh, Desi-O.
Desi-O, always bringing it. What you got, Desi-O?
He said, if Moon got 2 turkeys from his friend, I can't wait to see what the governor brings for Jamie. Yeah.
All right.
Let him bring me a turkey.
So. You want to go there? Let's go there. We'll come back to these. We'll come back to these.
You know, got me some thoughts.
Let's finish this first. All right. So we had these high school children competing. So we had the Oregon State Championship track and field, and you had basically 5 placeholders, really 6, because there was a tie for 5th in the high jump, in the girls' high jump. And then there was a boy competing in the girls' high jump, identified as a transition or transgender girl.
Wait, don't you identify as
I am trans. I am transgen. I transgen from Generation X to Generation Millennial.
I'm going to have to beg you to stop saying that.
Oh, I'm telling you, listen, if you go look at the charts, like I said, I'm either an OG Millennial or I'm a very young Gen Xer. So I'm transgen. I'm transgenerational.
Not to say that.
Well, I'm just saying. I want my shirt too. I want to be in the club too. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to be in the club. I just, let's just move on.
Party in the club.
So anyway, these athletes, these young student athletes compete. Now, the boy that's competing in girls' sports, he also competed in boys' sports. I don't know how that went. I know he placed tied for 5th with the girls, so I don't know what it went with the boys. Who knows? Maybe he was trying something new. I'm kidding. Now, there's a video over here that shows that, so the 2 first, when they turned their back, just out of protest, like, hey, we're competing here with girls. We've placed 2nd and 3rd respectively, and this is nonsense. Well, you would think that administrators, being the adults, would come up to these young ladies and say, hey, I understand. I don't know why we're letting boys compete with girls, or at least not do anything to them. Oh, no. They kindly escorted them off the podium, of course, and let them stand next to it. I bet if they had a BLM and BLM shirt and a fist in the air, they would have let them stay. I bet you they would have been awarded scholarships or something. I don't know.
I don't think BLM's even a thing.
It's not. Well, it was just the last. This is the same as Occupy Wall Street. It's the same thing. We'll have another one in 2 years. Though we will, 2 or 3 years, and it'll be something else, and they'll raise money off of it. People will get rich. A couple people get rich. Other people will get frauded. And we'll recycle it another 4 or 5 years. I mean, this is the thing. This is what we do. Well, we don't do it, but that's what the crazies do. I'm telling you, same slave master, different slaves. Same slave master. That hadn't changed. Different slaves. So the same video exploded online, okay? TikTok, Facebook, all the stuff, and a lot of praise for these girls. All right. We also know that the American First Policy Institute has now filed a Title IX complaint against Oregon for allowing biological males, to compete in the girls' events. I'm curious to see where that'll go. Very curious to see where that'll go. Oh, and by the way, phone lines are open. Now, we're talking about doggone transgen athletes, and we're quiet. 232-1542. I need you to wake us up. It's Monday. Let's do it. We got folks driving. We have a duty to provide good content to our listeners. Give us a call in, 232-1542. You can also message us on the rumble.com. All right. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit. 2 girls did what the adults wouldn't do. They took a quiet stand on the field in front of everyone. No theatrics, no kind of hate, no signs, no banners, none of the chaos, just courage. They didn't scream. They didn't do like a stunt. They didn't protest. They just said no and walked away, essentially. And I'd say that's leadership for these 2 young ladies. To compete on the state level at their age, beating a boy. They outplaced him. But I think it took leadership. I think it took integrity. He tied for 5th. Had he not been there, the other young lady would have been sole owner of fifth place medal. I didn't know they did those. I thought it was just the first three. We talked about that. But it's Oregon.
Everybody gets a medal. Participation trophy.
Literally everyone. Boys or girls. It don't matter. But I like this. Young Americans taking a stand, having some principle. It's a good thing. Meanwhile, where were the school officials? Again, other than the two administrators that walked up to them and said, hey, signal getting off the podium because they turned their back.
We're celebrating the diversity they accomplished.
Yeah. And where are the coaches? I mean, where were the coaches? They weren't even around.
Well, I can tell you the coach of that kid was like, I got me a winner.
Yeah.
We're going to state, boys. I mean, girls.
Girls. I mean, wait, hold on, boys.
Kids.
Let's go, folks.
Let's go.
But if they knew they would push it too far, that there would be consequences. They knew if they would have said, and too far for them would have been just, I guess, leaving them on the stage, leaving them on the
throwing the medals at him, like
yeah,
pelting him in the head with it.
Like, yeah, it's interesting.
That's what I would have felt like doing.
Yeah.
Well, at least if he would have won.
You know the thing, people are tired of pretending that this is normal. I think that's what we've had a heavy dose of. Just we've already had the heavy dose of extremisms, but that's what the enemy does, though. Tries to confuse us. Even our most basic identity, whether we're a boy or a girl, whether we are a male or a female. Very easy. Watch Kindergarten Cop.
We're the only country that even entertains this stuff.
No, them European folks, they're all.
Yeah, probably the Canadians, but I mean, we take it way too far.
I'm telling you, man, and like I said, just think about how our president, whether it's President Trump or whoever, just whoever's in the office, they have to navigate through really rough waters in the world. And some of these dictators and some of these heads of state, they're not the most kindest, softest folks. And it doesn't help us when we're arguing over silly things like this.
You really think Europe lets boys play on girls' teams?
Oh, I could see France doing that.
I don't know. I think that might.
I could see London doing. I could see London doing that. I could.
It's terrible.
Italy could do that. Greece, absolutely. I don't know about them Ukrainians though.
I have to look that up.
What do you call them? Ukrainians.
Ukrainians. Yeah.
I didn't even know Ukraine was considered part of Europe. I mean, it's so far out there.
Yeah, Eastern
Europe.
It
touches it. Yeah. Well, Eastern Europe. Yeah. True. Oh, but yeah, people are just tired of pretending like this isn't the norm, and girls are done pretending that this is fair, and as they should. I mean, look, it's good until you have puberty. I mean, you can compete, but there is a physical difference, and I don't even know why we're talking about it. It's so
and
absurd.
It's not fair.
Thank you.
Like I said earlier, it interferes with their scholarship opportunities. Thank goodness the president has intervened with the Title IX stuff. And hopefully NCAA is not awarding female scholarships to transgender males. And if they are, holy crap, we better do something about that right quick.
Well, it's not the NCAA, it'd be the universities. The NCAA could put a ban on it.
Well,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but no, Trump stepped in. He made it very clear his administration is not funding any states that violate women's sports or this initiative of fairness. Man, I'm telling you, these guys on the left, the elites of both parties, have just really done a number on us. Free trade instead of fair trade. Free sounds good. It's free trade.
It's free. Everybody gets one.
Ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Let's go, Warren. Bring it, baby. First caller of the day. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Years ago when I was working over there at that violent workplace over there on Bank Street, they was talking on the radio about being born gay. And one of the guys told the boss, he said, well, I know I wasn't born gay. And the boss said, well, how do you know that? He said, because he said, I tried it once, but I didn't like it too much.
Oh, my word.
Thank you, Josh.
Jeez, Luis. Oh, man. Warren.
Well, So,
he got us again.
I guess that's would you call that a science experiment?
I don't know. I mean, I get, you know what? Good on him for, he gave it a good old college try.
That's one way to figure it out. All right, let's take a little break. When we get back, we're gonna wrap up this topic, and we're gonna kick off the next hour with a bang. All right, be right back. welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and A-Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Guys, go to rumble.com and check us out. You can watch us. You can also go back and see some other archived episodes. And you can also message us, so please go to rumble.com. All right, so we're going back and we'll wrap a little bow on these two, I'd say, courageous young student athletes from Oregon, two young ladies that placed second and third in the state championships of high jump. Man, it's an athletic sport right there. And I guess they're all athletic in track and field. And there was a young man that was competing in the girls' sports, and he tied for fifth. Those girls, they didn't like it. They said, it's not fair to compete with boys. This is girls' sports. It's literally physically different, and it's just not fair. Even though they beat the boy, okay, that's good. Well, they just peacefully turned their little back out of a peaceful protest. Okay, no burning, no marching, no stopping schools, no disrupting graduations, no disrupting committee meetings. I can go on and on and on, because they have couth.
But they're going to be pariahs now, probably.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of their high school careers because, liberals.
You never know. We don't know what part of Oregon. Well, we don't know what part of Oregon she's from.
It don't matter.
Well,
it's Oregon.
I don't know.
You're talking about the same place that legalized drugs.
What? Like all drugs?
All drugs.
Wow. All drugs.
Oh, it was, they thought they tried. Oh, they reversed it.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so hot.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Same place where they have, tent cities in their downtown sidewalks.
Yeah. I mean, they got it. Yeah, exactly. Because they let that happen. Jeez. Look.
Such a beautiful state.
It could be, God made it beautiful. Jeez. And I thought liberals were I thought y'all liked
nature.
Try cleaning it. Try imposing some societal norms.
No, they're just going to try to change it. Oh, this tree should be a flower.
Probably. They're so arrogant because to me, it's so arrogant for a human to say that they know more than God. Like, I identify as a whatever.
It's a walrus.
What the heck does that mean? Like I said, none of us we shouldn't pick on them. We shouldn't treat them unkindly. We really shouldn't. But we should treat them with compassion because they are suffering from a mental illness. They believe there's something they're not. And but we can't just pretend. Here's the problem. We can't pretend that we don't see truth. See, truth is truth. Truth comes out. Truth is it's its entity in and of itself. It can't be denied. It's truth. So it's very arrogant of us humans to think that we know more than the Creator. I'm just saying. Feel free to disagree. I don't think most of you do.
MSNBC's advertising a fundraiser to save this man who was disappeared to El Salvador. That's what they're saying. He was disappeared to El Salvador.
What the heck?
Yeah, they're hosting a whole fundraiser for him.
Like he was okay.
I just caught that in passing. That was a little weird.
Well, all right. But yeah, look on this, but President Trump, because again, you would think this is local issue, and it is. This is local, state, usually state issues. However, we have a president that is taking on these elites where it hurts them in their pocketbook. And I appreciate the president for doing this. Also, just to get us away from the national government shouldn't be in any of this stuff. But the national government has had all this money and power in the past, and we've allowed it to go way far left, way far woke, way far extreme, non-common sense. And now we have a president that says, hey, you be you, Oregon. Go ahead and be yourself, all right? But you can do it with your own money because we're not going to pay. We're not going to use American dollars from Lafayette, Louisiana, from Des Moines, Iowa. We're not going to do any of that. We're not going to spend their money on something that most people don't believe in. This is actually an area where most Democrats and Republicans agree with. This is insanity. Let's go to Renee. Renee, what you got today, my man? Bring it.
Yeah, coming to that money stuff, you know how I improved my French by watching YouTube. Well, this one French program is like the people in charge of the program, like they have like how you call that, entitlement syndrome.
Oh.
And the people in South Africa that got their own tax base got entitlement syndrome. Like we got people with AIDS and diseases and people that's sick over here need our money. And why should my tax money go to South Africa? They got all kind of minerals and farmers and stuff that can make their own money when we need to take care of our own stuff, like military, debt, our national debt. Then people act angry like they're entitled, like it's a catastrophe. They're entitled to our, it's not America's money. It's the taxpayers of America's money. That's what's important.
Woo, love
Renee's
it.
bringing it today.
Love it. Thanks, Renee. Appreciate you. I asked this question the other day. I'll ask again to anyone. Do we think people care about the national debt? I know people care. People still care about our country. That was clear on, I think, November 5th was the day in 2024. That was clear the last presidential election. People do care, and I'm grateful for that. But do you think that people collectively, do you think we even know the importance of the national debt? Do you think we truly care about the national debt? Because, look, I'm going to lay something out there for you. And Jamie, you may want to opine on this. I don't know. It's hard. Look, I love President Trump and I love his policies, but it is hard for me to get excited about this big, beautiful bill with a big, nasty $4 trillion deficit?
It's awful.
4.05, I think it is.
It's like, between 4 and 5.
It to me, that is a slap in the face, and it's reckless. Now, sometimes you'll have debt. I get it. You'll deficit spend. At least give us a forecast. Give us a reason, and tell us when that's going to start to be dwindling down. And I'm only rushing because I'm seeing 30 seconds on the clock. I should have brought this up the next hour. I'll bring it back up. So here's my question: do we care about the national debt? I love a whole bunch of things in that big, beautiful bill, like a whole bunch of stuff, taking out some of that green new energy, whatever, the Green New Deal stuff, some of the other fluffy stuff, the deregulation component of this budget. I like that.
The Medicaid tightening?
Yeah, absolutely. Eliminating fraud. And I like that the House wants to bring a bill to codify the Doge cut. So there's a lot to be excited about. Just the debt is not one. All right, guys, stick around. Hour number 2, right around the corner. Ooh, it's going to be, Jamie, don't go anywhere. It's going to be fun.
You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Welcome to The Josh Guillory Show, hour number 2. I remain your very, very grateful host, and in studio with me, still, my main man, Damian Zhao.
Didn't have nowhere else to go.
Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing.
All the way, baby. Hour number 2, and we are broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Your hometown lawyers, man. You got some questions? Give those guys a call. Beal and Bear. So before we broke for the hour, we were talking about the big, beautiful bill, and there's some good stuff in it. There's some really good stuff in it. Matter of fact, the cuts I like. There was some compromises there a little bit. You saw in some of the green energy stuff, but not all of it. Matter of fact, he gutted a lot of it. The cuts to, or the reforms. We can't. It's misleading to say cuts. Reforming, which includes cuts to wasteful spending in Medicaid and in Medicare. I mean, who can argue against dead people not getting Social Security payments? Who can argue against illegal immigrants not receiving Medicaid and Medicare? Oh, but it doesn't happen. They're ineligible. Well, then why does it happen? That's why we're saying. That's why. Yeah. That's why the
states are doing it. The states are taking the federal money.
Yep.
And they're giving it to non-citizens.
Yep.
So stop giving those states federal money.
There you go.
So
common sense reforms. So there are a ton of good expenditures and cuts. I just don't understand how we can get excited. Look, this is just me. I just don't know how we can get excited about a bill that carries more than $4 trillion of deficit spending. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You asked a valid question. Do people care?
I don't think people care.
No, because why should we, Josh? We've been Kill Switch. Very, very valid point on the app chat. He said, when I was 18, the politician would talk about the deficit will be put on their kids. They're still putting spending on future generations. I believe the deficit is eternal. Hopefully not. He's not wrong about that because we've been hearing it since we were kids. And what's the so what? So the deficit. What's the so what? Are we going to file bankruptcy? Are we going to get our debt reclaimed by credit? Like what?
Yeah, no, and that might be the play.
Tell us what.
No, really, that may be the play. Like, there's no consequences, so we're not going to worry about it. But no one is the only. First, there's so many thoughts to this, so many layers. First, you're right. The only thing we've been taught is what we grew up with being taught with. All of us listening, more than likely got that lecture, got those speeches. Okay. But we get nothing about the national debt, virtually nothing about the national debt on the cable networks or media. It's just not exciting. No one's selling ads off of $37 trillion debt. There's no money in covering the debt. There's only people like us who care about it that will talk about it and that will be on the airwaves talking about it and how important it is to dwindle it down. I mean, if you look at our debt to GDP, that's a pretty good indicator of where we're at. It's not too great. It's been kind of in some pretty serious status for about 8 years now, 10 years. So but who cares? It's not on the TV. It's not on the radio. Well, it's actually more on the radio with conservative talk radio. So that's my thing. I love most of the bill. I'm excited just like the president. I'm just not excited about the debt. And we have to be true to ourselves. If it's important, it's either important or it's not. And if it's not important, please tell us why. We can handle it. If you got to tell me, hey, look, the aliens told me in the White House, like, this is why the national debt is like this, and that you can't do it because this, and this. All right, well, just say the aliens told me and I couldn't do anything about it.
We all know the answer. Why? Because the almighty dollar. Because one, who wants to be the president that starts paying down the debt? And I say that
me.
I hear you, but that means you are the president that is taking funding away from God knows who and what. God knows what donors, what special interests. But that's just the thing is, you have to cut it from those special. You have to, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to suck, and they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
And that's why, because no one wants to be that target.
Yeah, I get it, but it's not the president. It's Congress, and that's to include Joe Biden and Barack Obama. It's not the president.
But
historically, it's not the president. But they will influence bills. They'll do all the things. I get it. All right. I say historically, since line item veto was taken away from the president by the Supreme Court. Yeah, boy, man, whew, we love to jump into policy. Congress voluntarily said, President, you can have this authority, and it's okay with states and it's okay with local governments, but it's not okay with the president. Okay, I get it. I understand. I don't, but it's a new makeup of the court, and I do believe that Congress should enact a law and let it get challenged and go ask the court again. We want the president to have line item veto. And I got a great compromise. Great compromise. I'm telling you, Congress members, listen, Democrat and Republican. Line item veto as long as you don't increase the national debt. Okay, so that means if you're going to dive into it, you need to eliminate all of the national debt, unless there's some parameters. Like, okay, unless a supermajority of both chambers vote to override that rule, or within a national security within 30 days with these checks and balances, like something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you give the executive the power, and not these legislative Congress members, okay? And I'm not pointing to anybody in specific, but each of those guys have a district, and each of those guys want to bring home the bacon. So which one of them are going to take their project out? No, but the president will, because the president is the only one that is representing the entire country. The only one.
Imagine a lame duck president like Trump with line item veto.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Everything to gain for the American people.
Yeah. And I will tell you this, you will shrink government that way. Here's why. Trump comes in, he guts all the liberal woke stuff. That's bureaucratic. A left-wing person comes in, cuts all the Republican programs or whatever. Okay. Well, I'm all in. Because you're going to get back to where the federal government was supposed to be by our founders, a small, limited federal government. I didn't say like weak. That actually makes it stronger. Think about this. If you're at your household, or in your business, if you're focusing on 3 to 5 things, what can you focus on that better than managing 30 to 50 things? Which one's easier? 3 to 5 things or 30 to 50 things? Well, of course, 3 to 5 things. The federal government was not designed to legislate much, quite frankly, not on morality and how we live our day-to-day lives. Take morality out of it. Just our day-to-day lives. It's just not the intent behind our Constitution. It just wasn't. And it wasn't like that for at least 100 years. I'd argue more, all the way to FDR. Teddy Roosevelt, he played some games too, but maybe him. Okay, but that's a long time is what I'm trying to say. That's a long time. And if you take all this bureaucratic mess on the left out, if you take all this bureaucratic mess on the right out, and you start eliminating programs that are because these are probably designed, maybe in good faith, and I think they usually are, but they always evolve. Programs always outlast their author, and then they go crazy, and they never shrink. They rarely shrink. So I don't care if it's a Republican program. A few years, it's going to be a government program, and that's all I care about. As in eliminating it or minimizing it. Federal government, very limited. Keep us safe and keep the economy rolling. Keep us safe and keep the economy rolling. Can you do those two things? Can you do those two things? The Constitution does not call for the federal government to focus on housing. It doesn't call for the federal government to focus on aftercare programs. It doesn't even call on the federal government to have a Department of Education. I'm not being harsh. Everybody wants the same thing. We just want to get there differently. And the best way to implement those different plans is to implement those in different communities at the local level. That is the basics of conservatism. my fellow Republicans, please record this and remember it. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Folks, Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and A Bear Studios right here in Lafayette. Jamie, get that clock. Oh, it's 4:20 for you. All right.
And broadcasting live on Rumble. Go check us
Yes.
out, rumble.com. Just search for, hey, if you go to the politics main page, we're up there.
Oh, we made it up there,
Yep.
huh? Wow, that's actually pretty. Hey, thank you, listeners. Thank you, audience. Appreciate it. That's like nation worldwide. That's really cool. All right. Hey, great. All right, guys. Rumble.com. Check us out. We also have a chat feature in there, and that's where I want to see you. I want to see what you have to say. All right. So what was Peaceful Tim Walls blabbing about?
Oh, it says you got to bully him. Bully the Democrats.
Oh, my
I mean, bully the Republicans. Bully Trump.
All right, so Tim, peaceful. Hey, I'm from Goofy, Minnesota.
Yeah, just eat tuna on white bread.
I'm slipping on ice walking.
Smelling tires.
I mean,
Sounds
God.
like freedom.
So he says, and Walls tells Dems to, quote, bully the S out of Trump. So
like, what's wrong with y'all?
But this just goes to show you, rhinos are worse. They have no platform. All they can do is attack and make up lies, and that's what they do. But Democrats, that's the national if you are a Democrat, I'm serious. This is your party's platform.
That's who y'all wanted to be vice president, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a choice. They don't believe it. Their party does not believe in democracy. Okay. All right. They appointed theirs. They did it for the last one too. I'm just saying. If you think that was a campaign, got it, whatever. All right. But yes, so my friends that are Democrats, listen, look at your national party. Look at the talking points. They don't have a platform. What ideas, please, what ideas do the Democrats have right now other than orange man bad? Or bully the S out of them? Really?
What's their platform?
That is. Remember when Trump was president the first time? Disrupt their meals, go to their houses, yell at them, make them uncomfortable. Bully the S out of them.
Do you remember what they did to Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
Democrats. They say Democrats should look for new voters at the gym. Democrats, you lost the mail vote.
Where's your $20
million?
There
ain't no mail. Yeah, is that what your $20 million study showed?
And a gym membership.
I mean, that's where we're going to talk to men. Hey, men probably don't want to talk to you at the gym. You come talk to me at the gym. Well
some of those Democrats might. Never mind.
You talking about the men maybe in the women's section?
Well, I'm talking about they might enjoy going to the men's gym and hanging out.
Oh, well, hey, yeah, I guess so.
But yeah.
Studio 54 over there. All right. Let's go to the phone lines early. Let's just do it. All right, callers. Let's see. JP, what you got, JP? Bring it today, baby.
Good afternoon, guys. You kind of took me off of the subject of what I wanted to say, so I'm just going to respond to what's in the segment. As a conservative man, I would like to know should I just disperse my address for some bullying to come towards my house so we can take care of it?
Not a bad idea.
Hold my Topo Chico.
No, I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of being made a demon. I'm tired of being made a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, and everything else.
And high insurance to boot.
With high insurance. I'm tired of it, and I think what we've done by electing President Trump is our way of fighting back and saying, you know what, we really don't care what he does that upsets you because we're tired of it. And you're right. We hope he gives it back to you. I don't know. It sounds kind of harsh. And if you could, I'm going to hang up and listen. We have a gentleman that was setting people on fire. And it seems like we almost kind of forgot a time when there was this saying that said we didn't know that they were at war with us.
Yeah.
Because we weren't at war with them.
Exactly.
How close to that do you think we are? You think they want a religious war between? It's one of those things. And again, if they do, just let us know when it's time to start, obliging. So y'all have a beautiful day. I'm gonna hang up and listen to what you have to say.
All right, JP. Oh,
we're already there. We're already at war.
But in his last, I was ready to say that, and then last part of his comment took me somewhere else, which is fine. So a religious war. it depends on how deep you want to go there. One could say we've always been in a religious war. One could say we've never been in a religious war. One could say we've been in and out. I don't know. I don't know on that one. I don't think we're at a religious war yet. I think there are religious fanatics. I think that there are people that use religion in a way that is not intended by the religion's purpose. That's my take on that. So I don't think we're at a religious war, but I do think we're at a spiritual war. But that was before our country. I mean, it's since the darkened angel fell from heaven. Okay, so that's bigger than us. So we got an easy part in that. Love God, love each other. That's it. Too easy. Two things.
I tell you what,
I'm working on it because sometimes it's hard.
Strong immigration policy the last 4 years, we wouldn't have had that issue.
Yeah, we'll bring that up. Let's talk about that next. First, let's go to the phone lines. Who you want to go to?
Let's go to
Renee. What you got, Renee? Well, missed it, Renee. You got to be on your game. Warren. All right, Warren, what you got? That's it. Bring it.
What's going on, man?
Well, you tell me.
Well, I like JP, that caller before. I'm glad to know that other people are tired of all this. You know, everybody needs to pay attention to what happened over there in Ukraine with all these drones. The new kind of warfare is going to be these drones. So all you waterfowlers with your long-range chokes, you're going to be needed. All you men shooting 3.5-inch 12 gauge, that's what everybody needs to have, a couple of them, and plenty of ammunition, because if somebody unleashes these drones on us or they start committing terrorist acts, there ain't nothing more wonderful than a Benelli Super Black Eagle. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Warren.
Warren.
Yeah. Get your shotguns. I'm with him. Hey, look, man. I'm with you too. You know, I hear where you're coming from.
Picking up what you're putting down.
That's right. All right. I'm going to start this topic because you brought it up, and we should, and we plan on talking about it. So the FBI has now confirmed the suspect behind the Boulder, Colorado terror attack, the guy that did it, was an Egyptian national in the United States, illegally.
Go figure.
So we have an illegal alien here. An illegal immigrant. Now, to all my folks out there that want to argue why we're so hard on the border and why we have no heart and why we should just leave these people alone, I get it. I bet you 99% of the 10 to 15 million illegal immigrants that crossed our border illegally were good people that just wanted the American dream. I bet you. Probably not 99.
Maybe not 99.
Maybe 99. But even if it is, do 1% of 10 million. 100,000. You get what I'm saying? All right.
I'm telling you, they could have sent a whole army over.
Like, this literally would not have happened. Like, you can't argue this. But for him physically being there, it wouldn't have happened. It is literally 100% impossible if he's not there. But for this illegal immigrant being there in Boulder, it wouldn't have happened.
But he was supposed to leave in March.
Oh, that's right. Did he promise? Well, it ain't March, Toto. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and A Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Jamie, did you have a good break?
I did.
That's good.
Like winter break, like spring break, or just the commercial?
Yeah,
break?
Commercial break.
I was, living my best life.
I sat in here and listened to them. They were pretty good.
I sat in here wondering what the funky smell was in the studio.
Whoa, wait a minute.
A bunch of turkeys.
Oh, you need me to. You need me to say this.
No, I don't.
I see you grinning over there.
You've
been grinning since we started the show.
I've been scowling.
Yeah, that's probably more.
It's a scowl.
All right, so tell the folks what happened.
Well, the governor came to visit today.
I want to talk about the illegal alien.
Well, he came to visit okay. The governor came to town.
All right.
Came to the Moon Show at 10 o'clock this morning.
That's a good thing.
And brought 2 turkeys.
Live
Okay. Turkeys.
All right. Well,
because it's so funny that he took a hunting trip to go solve our insurance crisis. He thinks that's funny, and he's making light of it because Moon has been giving him a hard time for it. Well, guess what? It's not funny. It's not funny at all. I mean, there are people out there hurting, people out there struggling, who are having trouble paying their bills, and we're out here making fun of it.
But was the turkey, was it to poke fun at the turkey hunt?
Yeah.
Oh.
How about just don't go into, you know what? We can move on.
Yeah.
You know my feelings.
Hey,
I'm mad.
Sometimes you try to communicate a thought, and maybe you try to use humor, and to you it makes sense, but maybe it doesn't make sense to the rest of the folks.
Then hire advisors who are going to steer you in the right direction, because the ones you got now, come on, man. Come on.
Do you really think he ran turkeys by anybody? I think he just said, "Hey, go give me 2 turkeys. I'm going.
Give me 2 turkeys. I'm going to see Moon. I'm going to bring 2 turkeys." Man, stop.
What'd they do with the turkeys when they left?
I don't know. He probably went and brought them back to Digger or something. What?
Stop picking on my buddy. I'm telling you, he's a good dude.
He is a good dude, but dang it.
Good supporter and great listener of the show. Appreciate it.
But
he's a listener.
He's a great guy.
Feel free to support it.
But come on, man. Y'all got to stop with this craziness. Like, fix it. Just fix it.
Well,
stop making fun of it. Just fix it.
I'll just say this. Priorities get done. If it's right, priorities get done.
I guess.
If it's a priority, it'll get done. And that is my honest assessment. And it will be hard to convince me otherwise, because I've lived it. If our priorities got done. We ran on very, very specific things.
Unless you did everything you could to try to get them done.
Yeah. But no, we kept all our promises. That's
right.
Very rare. But we didn't make a lot because we were honest, But anyway, we made enough. Mm-hmm. But if it's a priority, it's just man, I'm not overcomplicating it. I'm not trying to oversimplify this, but it's not hard. Just don't stop until you're done. I mean, you lived with me. I mean, not live. You lived through it. Pretty much lived with me. I mean, we just didn't stop till it was done.
Or listen to the people who are telling you what will and won't work. Listen to the experts,
or at least take it, or all sides at minimum, because I don't know what experts are, but at least to your point, listen to all sides. And it seems like the insurance folks, and I don't know. Look, we've invited the governor. I did talk with him on Friday about coming on, so he'll come on. I know he's got a busy schedule, and I appreciate that. All right, I think the folks will appreciate that, and we'll give plenty of heads up and all the good things so we can have a healthy conversation. I don't do any of them gotchas. All right, I just have a dialogue. Then we can be honest. All right, let's see a caller. Thank you for calling in to the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Bill from Lafayette.
All right, Bill. Thanks for calling in, bud. What you got today?
There's 2 things I want to point out with you about. First of all, is Moon doesn't seem to take any more calls from regular everyday people. He's only taking calls from like people that's head of these organizations or some people he knows real well. I don't know if that's, but he says he keeps repeating his number and over again. I don't know what's the deal here with this.
I'm not sure.
I was listening the other day, and I heard. Now I don't know. In Bill, in full candor, I don't get to listen every single day, but I did hear someone call in the other day. But we can ask Moon.
When he has time, he takes calls, but sometimes he just runs out of time. I've sat in with him, and he just runs out of time.
I would imagine he's probably wants to take calls and then gets on a topic.
But what you got for us?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bill. Number 2. I apologize.
Number two. There's some supplements that the legislature, there's certain people that anytime that anybody finds something that's pleasurable, that they suddenly have to regulate it or outlaw it because, they just can't have that. But there's some, how many people do we lose a year in Louisiana from opiate overdoses?
I don't know.
Sure, a fair amount.
Yeah.
About 2,000, something like that.
Wow.
Well, they had some supplements or some that you could buy them off the counter, and they would quell those cravings for those things. And, of course, these head shops got a hold of that, and they started selling them because you could get a little high off of them. And they're about to completely outlaw that, and most states didn't pass this law because of the problem with crisis we have with the overdoses.
You talking about the kratom or the kratom?
Yeah, that. And I think a lot of there's people on the edge that's using that to avoid having to go run to the street to buy drugs. And they're craving real bad. And they're going to flip it. You're going to see more people die. I think something like 2,000 some odd people died in Louisiana from fentanyl last year.
I don't know that number, but wow. Hey, look, one's too many. And we can all agree with that. One's too many. One's too many.
I think before they got to outlaw this in this state, but it's going to be legal in Mississippi, legal in Texas, and when people come traveling through the state, they're going to get in trouble, if they got stopped or something like that. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Fair points, Bill. Yeah. Fair point. Hey, thanks for calling in. Call back soon. All right, let's go to Eddie. Eddie, what you got today, my man? Eddie, you there? Did you put the right number?
I did. I just pushed it. I pushed his button.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, we'll go. He can call back.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, what you got, Mr. Bobby?
Yeah, I think Staff Sergeant Sticky Fingers is correct.
On what?
Yeah, you know what an expert is?
I got my thoughts.
An expert is someone that knows what they're doing. They just don't know how they know what they're doing, like that parish president you got.
Whoa. He's just speaking the truth.
Tell me, the other day I looked up in the sky when I was in Lafayette and I saw a blue streak come across it.
Oh.
I didn't see that.
Are you being for real?
Yeah, Democrat, blue streak.
I think he's being facetious.
Okay.
That's a joke. I didn't see that. I saw.
I don't know. Someone said chemtrails earlier today in the show, and then I was thinking we're talking about clouds.
Chemtrails have been around a long time. They spray that to keep the earth from warming up.
No, Mr. Bobby, that's just there's a hot engine going through some cold air, and it makes a ripple. That's it.
Are they trying to?
What did Uncle Landry do? He took a turkey. What did he do? I missed it.
Oh, sore subject over here with my buddy.
He brought 2 turkeys to the Moon Show to be cute and cheeky.
I didn't know you could turkey hunt this time of the year in Montana.
Oh, they were still alive, so I don't know.
Oh, he's still alive. So
he's poking.
This guy smoked a lot of reefer in college, though. You know that, huh?
Thanks, Mr. Bobby.
Hey. All right. Bring it.
All right, fellas. I'm sorry about that mishap just a while ago.
Hey, it's all right.
I like Moon and everything, I mean, I listen to the man all the time. All the time. But this morning, it seemed like a little fits. I mean, I don't know if Moon just cares about the insurance reform, but what about that Emerson bill that they killed in the Senate? I don't hear nobody talking about it. And bringing in them turkeys, I mean, Moon was right on with the turkeys. Jeff Landry, to me, made Moon look like a joke this morning.
Oh.
I'm sorry to say it. I don't want to say it, but Moon's getting soft because that had been Bobby Jindal or John Bell Edwards, he'd have never got away with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to hang up and let y'all talk about it.
Thanks, Eddie.
I think Moon was just trying to be polite and kind. And how do you react when the governor of your state shows up to do an interview with you and brings 2 live turkeys to the studio?
Yeah, he's kind of a...
What do you say to that?
Yeah, you kind of have to roll with it. But I get it, Eddie. I get it. I get what you're saying. All right, but hey, good points. Thanks for calling in. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. One more segment. Jamie, get some more in the commercial break. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and Abear studio right here in Acadiana. Hey, your hometown lawyers, man, you got some questions? Call those guys, Bill and Abear. They'll take good care of you. All right, so last segment here, we are going to wrap up our discussion here on this terrorist, Hisham Ahmed Mohammed. I believe I said that right. He's the killer over there in Boulder.
Well, I don't think anyone died.
I'm sorry, Bill. He's still a terrorist.
Well, he's still a terrorist.
So, and the identified suspect.
Yeah, 16 unused Molotov cocktails.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. 16, huh?
I think that's like more than one is a lot. But
yeah,
like
one is a lot.
What is? I'm never going to be able to understand. Like I mentioned to you earlier, how often we've seen Israelis commit acts of terror on Palestinians in this country?
Yeah.
Never. Because they leave that stuff in their own country.
Yeah.
Like, for real, this is not Israel. Do not do that stuff here. This is not Israel.
Yeah, not the battlefield. Not the battlefield. All right. So here are the facts as we know it. So he identifies as that name. He was wow, throwing multiple. Yeah, so he was actually engaged in throwing it. So I didn't know that. I didn't know this
video of him.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. All right. He was also carrying an illegal firearm. He had some improvised grenades as well. So IEDs. Man, wow. Okay. A .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun. Now, the FBI has officially determined this was a targeted terror attack.
You think?
Thank you so much, federal government. Appreciate that.
At a demonstration to release Israeli hostages, they were attacked. You think it was a targeted attack?
Yeah.
It wasn't random?
Was there any intent?
It wasn't random? It didn't just happen like that?
Like, really?
Get out.
That's okay,
here.
though. Well, we're not going to give them a hard time. That's probably it's just kind of silly how they communicate. All right. He was in the U.S. illegally. Period. So again, but for Mr. Mohammed over there, and I don't want to say that in a derogatory way, but that is his last name. Okay. If he was not here, would that have happened? Of course, the answer is no. This is something we can actually factually determine. But for him being here, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. But for media not propagating and pushing all these anti-Semitic, crazy.
I mean, they're facilitating it with them. It's just, it's absurd.
It's super.
All right. So we also know that federal authorities are still investigating his background, but sources say that this wasn't random, Jamie. It was deliberate. It was planned. I'm just reading it.
Oh, here I thought it was an accident.
Yeah. Oh, and it was deadly serious. I'm just reading. What it says.
Maybe they're just trying to make maybe that's for the media. Like, hey, this is what happened. To be clear, before y'all jack it all up.
Yeah. But again, when we go into conversations on the border, like this is real stuff. These are real incidences. Like this would not happen if this illegal immigrant would not have been here. You can't argue with that. It is literally impossible for him to commit a crime in a place he's not at.
And it's my understanding he was supposed to be out of this country back in March. He missed his flight, apparently.
Shocker. Maybe he did not have a good immigration lawyer to say, this is when you be there.
What's he even doing here? Like, did they even mention why he was here in the first place?
I didn't read that in the article I read.
Because obviously he didn't come for a better life because he's here just blowing stuff up. He hates this country.
He's here for asylum. Leave him alone.
So you're going to come kill Americans in a place you're trying to seek refuge?
Man, that guy invaded us.
Why don't you go get some refuge in Palestine?
Yeah.
If you love them so much.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure just today, there were reports of Hamas opening fire on people in Gaza, on Palestinians.
Exactly.
After it was blamed in the media, our media, after they blamed the Israelis for it.
Wow.
And only a handful came back and retracted and said, oh.
But they're so quick.
It's on video too.
But they're so quick to blame that.
So quick. They hate Israel so much.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Gotta be the elites. I don't know.
I think it's just one of those things that's passed down over generations. Like, you gotta hate the Israeli. Gotta hate the Israeli. Must be. Name me a better explanation for it.
Yeah, but since the late 40s, whenever Israel became its most updated sovereign geographical boundaries, that wasn't
back in the 40s.
Yeah, 48, I think 48. I mean, that's not that long ago. That's 52, 77 years. Yeah, 77 years. That's like 3 generations of media people.
I just don't understand why they can't just live in a shared state like America.
Hey, go ask them.
But then again, we all live together, and apparently we're not having a good time doing that either. What? Shooting each other, setting each other on fire.
Yeah, but look, that's such a small portion.
You're right.
And I almost feel guilty even talking about all this because, but I don't like terrorists. Their whole goal is to inflict terror. Oh. And the biggest vehicle to inflict terror is the mass media. And I feel like mass media should not cover it.
Speaking of terrorists, look at Rachel Maddow.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Hey. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in each day, and especially today. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.